Okay, so enough people have asked, so here we go. We're going to do a feeding vid. This is only my third ever, hence the three. First one features my Aphonopelma annex. This is for my buddy Moss, who bought what he thought was an annex, but somebody thinks it might have been a Vagans. They do look very, very much alike. They're very similar species, so here you go, bud. Here's a picture of mine in action and eating, and I'll try not to talk through this entire thing. It's just we shot him over several takes, and I'll admit it, I might have swore a couple times when we were doing it because I have a hard enough time concentrating on the feeding without the filming. So, all right, next up is my E Pachypus. I love these little guys and their furry legs. A lot of times they will actually explode out of those vertical entrances to catch prey, and I've seen it twice, and it's amazing to see from these cute little guys the explosion. They use those big back legs to propel themselves out. Unfortunately, I've yet to catch it on camera. The one time I did, the two times I did catch it, I was kind of feeding them and not paying attention, and it wasn't quite as bright, so I think that had something to do with it. So hopefully someday I'll be able to catch it because it's really interesting to see. Next up's my mature male A. Brocklehursti that just matured out. This guy was in pre-molt for about 7 months, hence the small enclosure. He'll be getting a bigger enclosure. Really cool looking guy, so spindly, and this is only his second meal after he molted, so probably pretty soon you'll see a rehousing video with him where we get him into a larger home. And one of my favorite new species, Formictopus species green femurs. I love the looks of these. The gold carapace, the reddish seeding on the abdomen, the green femurs, just gorgeous, gorgeous tarantula. Very, very leggy. I'm very excited to have these guys in my collection, which is good because I think I have about six of them, six or five or six. I bought some that were labeled something different than green femurs, or they were labeled species green, and then I had this one, these three that I got, so I have a whole bunch of these now. So I'll be looking for some of these to go up for sale eventually. I'm going to try sexing some of them out. I'll probably keep a couple females, and we'll see what else we have. But beautiful, beautiful spider, and actually one of the more timid species I have as far as eating. I have Formictopus species that will literally sprint across the enclosure to catch stuff. This one here, this was actually a good feeding response for her. More often than not, I drop crickets in. She shows no interest in them whatsoever until after I close her enclosure and walk away. So I was kind of glad she actually grabbed one for the video. Notice the third one there, she didn't gobble up. And my other Formictopus species, I had one the other night that took 7 crickets. It was getting to be hysterical watching her just snatch them all up and then eventually web them into a cricket burrito. But excellent job eating here. She did me a solid by eating. Here's one of my more obscure ones, my V. Paranensis. This one here is kind of funny. As soon as I open the enclosure, it usually comes out and tries to kind of get out of the enclosure. So I'd actually warned Billy here that keep an eye on this one because it might try to get out. And as you'll see toward the end of the video, usually when I feed something, they grab a cricket and you can do some maintenance and everything because they're too busy with a cricket in their mouth to bother with you. This one, you'll see, decides to go on a little walkabout and almost makes it out of the enclosure, which was kind of funny. So we'll see here in a minute. She's got a little burrow that goes underneath. She ran over to this side of the burrow, so I'm going to move the cricket over here, and then she's going to end up coming out back the original end of the burrow and doing a little walking. But I love this little thing. I don't think I'd stick my hand out and catch her, but she does seem to be a bit inquisitive because, again, most will retreat when they grab a cricket. Watch what this one does here. Gorgeous little T. Love the coloration. I don't see her very much because she's usually out in the burrow. And next up is my L. Itabune. Love this girl. Thought for sure she was going to be in pre-molt. You can see how big her abdomen is there, and it looked like it darkened up. But I decided to try her with the cricket, and as you can see, she got it. And this was actually a much longer video. There's a big male dubia roach in there that she was kind of stalking, but it was taking forever. So I dropped a cricket in, and the cricket bounced off her, and she just kind of sat there. And I turned to get another cricket, and that's when she snatched that one in the corner. So luckily, I was able to snag it. But just a gorgeous species. Now, mind you, she's in need of a molt, so these colors are kind of washed out. When they first molt, the legs and carapace are almost a bluish color, and that red seedy on the abdomen is actually much brighter. But beautiful, beautiful girl. Getting big, about 7.5 inches now. Seven and a half. I got a good read on her the other night. I don't like to exaggerate the size of them because it's eventually they molt out, and you go to show the molts, and you realize they're not nearly as big as you thought they were. All right, next one up is one of my P. Sazumes. This one, you don't get to see it very much, but dang, that's a great grab. Very, very quick. There will be one on the end that I'm kind of saving for the end for a purpose, for a reason, because it's a money shot. It's fantastic. She looks beautiful. But there you go, that one eating, and you just kind of get to see the feeding response, and then it's a little red butt as it's getting ready to web up its meal. Next up is my P. Atrichomatus. Love these guys. These were actually quite skittish, again, as slings and juveniles. They were probably the most timid eaters I had of all the Phormictopus I keep, but they're starting to pick it up a little bit now that they've got some size on. Gorgeous, gorgeous spiders. I apologize in advance. This one goes on for a bit. I think I was just fascinated watching it chew up the cricket there, and I kind of brain farted out and kept the camera on it. So, but it's kind of nice that I've got some good footage of these guys in the HD to put up. So, besides just the feeding aspect of it, I get some good shots of some of the species in my collection I don't get to show off very often. Usually I have to wait for rehousing so I can get them out and about. Now I'm going to entice them out with food. Actually kind of feel bad for the roach, not going to lie. Next up is my Hapalopus species Columbia large. This is not B. Arthur, the one that just had the egg sac. This is my other female. You'll see here, she gets a good grab on this one. Now I got to get that molt out of it. And boom. I think this is cute because in a moment she's made a little den inside that cork bark, and she's going to climb into that den and kind of hide. Last time we fed her was my son and I, and we dropped the cricket in front, and I'm like, I don't know if she's ready to eat yet because she just molted. And then she burst from that little piece of cork bark, completely startled us both, and grabbed the cricket and went right back in. This time I caught her outside, so now she's going to go back in and hide in a moment. I love watching her just kind of wiggle her way back in there. All right, next up is one of my favorites, my female, larger female, H. pulchripes. The other one ended up being female as well. And what you don't see is I'm sitting here with a catch cup just in case this cricket lures her out. I've only had that happen twice in my career, but you'll see here she's getting a little bit close to the edge. Great grab. Beautiful, beautiful spider. I just can't get enough of these guys. Love the way the legs look. And yeah, I kind of brain fart out and catch this one on camera a bit here, but I couldn't resist. She is gorgeous. And as you can see, there's been some talk about these guys being very skittish and defensive. I've lucked out because both of mine are actually very, very docile. Although my other female has actually taken a hiding. Next up is my female P Metallica. Fortunately, I didn't get a great video of this one because I'm not going to mess around with the pokies and have the enclosure completely open, but did get a good grab there. So wish I could have gotten her out and about more so I could have gotten some good video of her, but she went down in 8 and I tossed a couple more crickets after this. And last up is my other P Sazme. Great grab here, and I saved this one for last just because the colors on her are amazing. I've been trying to get these guys to show up on film, those blues, and this is with no touching up, no Photoshop, no adjusting the brightness or the saturation or anything like that. That's just a freshly molted P Sazme looking fantastic. So there we go. That's it for now. Maybe if this ends up being popular enough, I'll do another one of these.